Hello everybody, and I want to welcome everyone to this spirit episode of the Booze Geek. My name is Charles, I am your host, and before I get started, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button, and if you like the episode, hit that like button as well. Give us a big thumbs up, and I'm going to thank y'all in advance. But on this spirit episode, we are going to be tasting and reviewing an Irish whiskey from Redbreast Distilling, and they are located in, well, Ireland, of course. Imagine that. But what are we tasting? This is the whiskey. So, from Redbreast, this is their 12-year-old single pot still Irish whiskey. Now, this whiskey is triple distilled in copper pot stills, and then it is aged in a combination of American bourbon oak barrels and Spanish Oloroso sherry butts. So that's kind of cool. A couple different types of wood there. And last but not least, the ABV on this whiskey, this clocks in at 40% ABV, which gives it an even 80 proof. So, without further ado, while the wind picks up a little bit, let's pop the top on this one and let's get the party started. Here we go. Boom, and there is the bottle boom. Just a little bit, because as I always say with spirits, just a little dab will do ya. That's all you need. A little bit. Cork that back up. And here we go. Ooh, look at that color. Ooh, it is a light amber copper color, very light. And a little bit of legs, but it doesn't look, the viscosity on this looks really light too. The legs are dripping, but they're dripping really fast. But let's give this another swirl, and we will give this a nose. Here we go. See that in the light, looks good too. But here we go, a little nose. Oh, well that's interesting. That is really interesting. Now, at 80 proof, first and foremost, I am getting an alcohol burn, an alcohol heat aroma, which I was not really expecting. I mean, maybe slight, but it's coming through pretty potently. I mean, it's the forebearer right there on the nose. Holy moly, it is really, yeah, it is. Okay, anyways, other aromas I'm getting. There is some slight oak, some slight vanilla, a little orange peel, and I think there's one more nose. Yeah, on the back end there is a slight hint of white pepper, which is kind of cool. But one more little swirl here, and let's give this a sippy sip. Here we go. Prost. Now, surprisingly, that really potent alcohol burn on the nose is not as present on the palate. I mean, it's there, but it is toned down. I mean, it's toned down quite a bit on the flavor palette. It sure is. Which is nice, because it's allowing some of those other flavors, you know, kind of come through and blend in and have some fun. And what are those other flavors? Well, we are getting, there is a oakiness to this, absolutely. We are also getting a little bit of that slight vanilla coming through. Just swirl this a little bit more. Let me see if it'll open up a little bit. A little bit of that orange is coming through. And I'm also getting a little bit of some baked apple, and there's some doughy notes, almost like a baked bread doughiness coming through as well. Let me give this one more sip here. Yeah, this whiskey, I mean, this is surprisingly really smooth. Now, how would I rate this? I do like this, but I am going to say the nose, I think the balance is really off on the nose, especially with that alcohol heat coming through. The balance is slightly better on the palate, but I do like this whiskey. I'm going to give this, on the meter, I am going to give this whiskey a 6.5. Like I said, I'm going to say it again. I do like this whiskey, but I do think it lacks some of the complexities of other 12-year-old whiskeys on the market, and not being country specific, I'm just saying across the board. So there is that. I do think the balance is off on the nose and a little bit on the palate, even though the palate is much better. However, what I am going to say is I do think that this is an excellent everyday drinking whiskey. I mean, You have a hard, long day at work. You want to come home. You want to just have a little, you know, a little dram of whiskey. This is dynamite. Maybe even with a cigar, it might be a little better. Because, I mean, it won't break the bank. It's easily accessible. I mean, so it's really got that going for it. It's a really knockout when it comes to that. But I am going to stick with that rating on this because, like I said, I do like this. Yeah, but it is a good everyday drinking whiskey, hands down. And on that note, I'm going to take one more little sip because just a little dab will do you. And I'm going to thank everyone for tuning into this episode. And as always, you can follow me at the websites, which are www.pubshaveapintin.com, or at the blog, which are www.pubshaveapintin.blogspot.com. And with that, I will raise my glass and I will say, see you on the next episode. Cheers, PROST, and enjoy!